Alrighty, it's time for strategic planning. Alright everybody, so some of you are new. My name's Amir. I'm the owner of Toy Snowman. And so this year has been a bit turbulent, but you know, we've reached the final quarter, so it's boss battle time, right? I just wanted to explain the strategy, I guess, of where we're going with this year. So I guess the big elephant in the room is obviously the U.S. tariff and shipping being a bit chaotic right now. So for that thing is for our company, we are obviously diversifying into either more customers by shipping internationally, and like around the world. Because we used to just ship just to the U.S. and Canada, and now we're like, okay, well, we gotta see how it works. So I'll be obviously trying to figure out cheaper shipping rates to the rest of the world, and at the same time trying to make Canadian shipping, well, as stable as we can. Right now, unfortunately, the post office is still negotiating their contract. So hopefully that once that dispute is over, I can renegotiate my contract with them, saying, hey, I want to put my discounts and concentrate it in certain ways to benefit me and benefit my customers. So that's for that. But that's obviously on the back burner until negotiations are done. But in the meantime, for products, so some of you have noticed we started carrying Hot Toys and Lego, and we're bringing more of it. We also brought D13's products, so that's Jesus and Biblical Adventures group. So yeah, so we decided, okay, you know what, Lego, the margins were not as great as we wanted to, but they're releasing some hot IPs, One Piece and then Pokemon next year. So it's like, okay, it's good. Looks like it's good stuff, and anime has really taken off over the last few years, I guess. I mean, more and more so. So we're like, okay, we need to get more anime stuff, and if Lego's gonna go in there, we'll jump in there with Lego. Hot Toys, well, that was just Hot Toys is kind of like it's a higher end product, and I think a lot of customers have been switching from, I guess, with the price points of a lot of products going up, right? So they're like, okay, well, maybe if I'm only gonna have one, instead of having a wave of 6 figures, I'm gonna get just one Hot Toy or something. And so I'm like, okay, sure, we need to cover the people that are moving from one product to another product. And so we're like, okay, well, the best product is Hot Toys, or it's one of the products that's unfortunately, it's 1/6 scale, which I'm not a 1/6 scale kind of guy. I'm a 1/12 scale kind of guy, but some people are okay with that. And so, like, from the 1/6 scale, I think that's fine. So we've gone there. I mean, I'm for Godzilla scale, right? So whatever scale high is in Bandai, that's my scale, right? Otherwise, let's see. Otherwise, I guess so we're gonna try to diversify. We are getting into more. We're still bringing in more Magic and Pokemon and those TCGs, because TCGs seem to be selling out phenomenally, right? So I mean, if you're into Pokemon and into Magic, you'll know already, like, the product's gone crazy in pricing, and the hottest thing since chocolate ice cream. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why I'm craving chocolate. Otherwise, also another big thing is just I guess like how companies are, like, they don't know about the situation, if tariffs are going up and down, and how that's all working out. For us, if there is ever a moment where tariffs go below a certain amount, like if whatever happens, if there's just no tariffs for a week or something like that, we'll probably launch a sale during that time, because I know now that manufacturers are playing this, like, game of, oh, tariffs are low, let's just release all the new products to retailers, and then they just give us 6 months worth of products all in one go. And so because Bandai and Hasbro and Mcfarlane and everybody just doing this whole, like, pull everything forward dance with us retailers, I decided, okay, well, if I see any fluctuations, and if tariffs, like, go down for a minute, or something, we'll probably just do like a flash sale and like, I don't know, something like just because we just don't know, right? And I need to make sure that, okay, if the manufacturer's going to do that to me, then I have to put a sale for the customer. Unfortunately, it's not reliable. I can't say on this day because we don't know what day that's going to be. But I think that's just part of our strategy now, where if there's a chance, we're going to have to like use that chance and, you know, seize the opportunity to protect us from our manufacturers who just want to like stuff us like turkeys with their products. So, you know, it's great for planning, I guess. This is why in Wall Street they like predictability, because this is not very predictable. Otherwise, you know, everything else. So now, one thing I did notice is that, the bigger companies seem to be really getting over this whole like the big manufacturers. I'm talking about, you know, your Hasbro, your Bandai, and Games Workshop, and Magic, and Pokemon. Like the big manufacturers are kind of able to, you know, maintain. They have this like staying power where they can just like keep producing their products and sending it out to us and informing us here's the next wave. But unfortunately, like I feel like a lot of the smaller toy manufacturers, they're just not ready for this, and because their client base is also smaller, and you know they might not have the cash flow. I think it's really hurting them, and I'm not sure how long a lot of them can sustain it. We do already know, like in the board game world, like Simon and a few others have like essentially stopped production altogether. So that kind of like put me like, okay, board games are at the forefront of that part of the world where they're essentially just taking the whole blame because it's all made across multiple countries, and then bringing it in a box and putting it in the U.S. has been very difficult. And the U.S. is a big customer base for like board games, for example. And so with that, I think there has been, I don't know, I want to say there's consolidation in the region where like companies like, I don't know, Asmodee, where it's able to grab up some of the smaller companies that are less efficient, and they're able to, like, you know, well, I guess bring it back up to its proper glories. Companies like Games Workshop are, you know, doing fine. They're, you know, if anything, they're doing better than before because they've already like planned out every week. They're having a pre-release. They already know their schedule. Like every week they're gonna have a release of a new product. But like for the little guy, he's just, you know, trying to tumble around and figure himself out. And it's like, I don't know, it's a bit sad because like, hey, I have not heard anything from, you know, this company. And then it's like, hopefully they're okay because, like, you know, you don't want everybody just like one company for a brand, right? Because like, it's nice when like there's multiple companies doing, you know, multiple figures and toys of, you know, collectibles and everything in general. So it's kind of sad to see like a large amount of consolidation in the market. But at the same time, I think that's just what's going to happen. And I'm trying to figure out, like, from my end, like, okay, so we're trying to diversify, but we're going to diversify to bigger companies because the bigger companies are able to, you know, give us a store that stable flow. And because we know we're getting that stable flow from the bigger companies, we're just going to put more shelf space for the bigger companies that are able to provide us, you know, every week, here's your new product, and we put it on the shelf. And, you know, we just don't have, like, my email, you know, every day we're getting emails for new pre-orders from these bigger companies. And then, you know, the once a month email from a smaller company gets just crushed in with all those emails. And then we end up like, okay, we just don't end up going for that product because we just don't, you know, we forget about it, or it gets covered up in those emails. So, you know, it's sad because, like, as a retailer, I do want to carry multiple kinds of products, but it's when I'm looking at it, like, I really don't know how some of these companies are gonna like get my attention as a retailer to put their products on our shelves. Yeah, it's just, I'm just, you know, explaining my thought with people because, you know, it's something that I'm seeing in the marketplace. And, you know, it's like, okay, well, if I do my next sale, am I just going to probably clear out some of the smaller product lines just because, like, how many people, like, you know, at the end, it's, you know, we like the consistency of constant sales and, the days of spiking on a single item that like went really hot we're just not there anymore, right? That was like COVID 2021, 2022, or 2020, 2021. There was a lot of indie companies popping up everywhere and making some really incredible products, right? Like some of my favorite products, like the dinosaur battlefield, right? It's just dinosaurs with armor, and I love it, right? But they haven't like, I don't know, like last thing I remember was them releasing a giant, like the T-Rex version of one of them. And, they had the green and then red, but that was like a year ago, and like I haven't heard anything from them since. Yeah, so like even like some of the, what do you call them? Well, I mean, like example, like Four Horsemen, like they had plans of releasing like 4 big waves a year plus an All-Star wave, and it was like 6 waves a year, right? And that was in 2022 and 2023. They were like planning to do that, and then this year it feels like, okay, we're gonna get 1, 2 waves and a half. And, not that they're small or anything, but at the same time, like, they're not, they weren't like what they were before, where they were trying to use 4 legs. And I think also as retailers at that time, 2022, 2023 was a terrible time for any retailers. Like, they were just collapsing left and right. So, and they were collapsing because there's just too much product happening, right? But right now, it's like, okay, products, now we're getting the product that we knew we were going to get, but we're just getting them 6 months early, right? And so now it's like some retailers have another problem, right? They have to handle, and I don't know, it's been very interesting trying to run this all. Otherwise, it's otherwise, other than like Mattel, who for some reason they are a big company, but they just refuse to deal with independent companies. Like if you're working Mattel, like reach out to me. Like I would love to have your products here in our store. Like, but it's like, I'm not gonna buy it from a competing store like Moon Boys Entertainment, because like Diamond is gone, right? Diamond used to distribute Mattel products, and I'm in Canada now, so there's not many retailers. It's funny, there was a company called Everest Distribution. They also have disappeared, and they were also another Canadian distributor. So it's like, okay, we're running out of like distributors even now to to give us product, and it's like. By the way, Everest had like, okay, I'll just leave that. It's right now we're running out of like distributors to distribute Mattel, and it's like it was already the hardest product to receive in Canada, like for a retailer, because like they just don't have like fan channel distributors, and then the only distributors are in the U.S. and there's like another competing store. So like as a retailer, I don't want to do that, and the only other 2 retailers that I know of that were like openly distributing Mattel have closed now in Canada, like Diamond in the US and Everest. So it's like, okay, well, this product line, it's gonna be really difficult for us to get. I'm thinking like, okay, should I just liquidate it and get rid of it? Like, okay, fine, no more WWE Elites and He-Man and all that stuff, or are they gonna like pick it up? Because rumor is like we were at I went to help a friend out at another store in Toronto for the Fan Expo, and Mattel was there, and rumor is that they're gonna try and fix the situation here in Canada, but what does that mean? I mean, we'll find out. I'd be interested to know, because I predict they will be an important player, because they're getting, for those who don't know, they are getting the DC license in 2026, so they DC is like the other half, right? We have Marvel, we have DC, Pepsi, Coke, so we have Coke right now with Hasbro having Marvel. We need the Pepsi of DC working out. But anyway, so that's just, so it's like diversifying but there's me trying to diversify to a bigger company, right? Because, well, presumably if this company ever like gets in contact with us and makes the work, then sure, we'll be able to work with them. But right now, it's like, okay, well, I guess, I mean, right now, anyway, every company is like fighting for a dollar, so you're like, and selling collectibles has been really good right now. Pokemon, Magic, Games Workshop, all these random exclusives. It's been like, it's been pretty good to like, business has been good. It's the politics that's been really difficult, and like, so once the politics is out of the toy world and things are a bit more stabilized, the good times should roll. Otherwise, anybody, stay frosty. Okay, this is for my hashtag till the end people. All right, let me put you guys. All right, so I'm gonna put a secret coupon code sale. So I'm gonna sell Mcfarlane at 40% off. So you can use the coupon code Mcfarlane69 and just put it on checkout, and you should get 40% off all Mcfarlane stuff that you buy that's in stock. I just want to see it out. So I'm not gonna post it on Facebook or any of my other medias. It's just for people who watch the YouTube video. I don't care if you post it on your YouTube or share it, whatever. That's fine. I just want to see how far does people, till the end people reach out. So, if a lot of people are watching it and then they share it, sure, that's fine. I just want to see what, it's an experiment for me to see how much. So yeah, 40% off, all Mcfarlane in stock, hashtag Mcfarlane69 is the coupon code. Let's see what else. We'll probably just run it for, today is what? Today is Thursday. So I'll post this video on Friday. So let's just run it till the end of this month, so until the end of September. This code will be valid, or the first 500 orders. So first 500 orders, or till the end of September. So Mcfarlane 69, you get 40% off all Mcfarlane in stock. Yeah, just want to put something in there for everybody. All right, ciao.